God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land. So I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands, so I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands. But the king shall rejoice in God. All who swear by him shall exult, for the mouths of liars will be stopped, as in a dry and weary land. So I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands, so I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands.
I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself. And where I am, there you may be also. Where I go.
All the earth worships you and sings praises to you. They sing praises to your name. They sing praises to your name. Bless our God, all peoples. Let the sound of his praise be heard. Come and see what God has done. He is awesome in his deeds toward the children of man. He is awesome in his deeds. Shout for joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of his name. He turned the sea into dry land. They passed through the river on foot. There did we rejoice in him, who rules by his might forever. Shout for joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of his name. Give to him glorious praise. Sing the glory of his name. Shout for joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory.
Well, hey, good evening, everybody. Brad here with the Big Family Homestead. I hope you're having a blessed night wherever, whenever you are watching this video chat thingamajig This is live, folks. So your comments are recorded, and I'm telling you that not as a, hey, watch what you say. No. I'm saying that so that you can actually chime in and add to the conversation, because I got to tell you what, things are really, really getting weird. Have you guys noticed just the drastic change in weather patterns in the last, say, 4 years, 5 years? Have you noticed a big jump in just odd weather patterns? For example, and I've got video to show you, by the way. Got video to show you because I keep trying to catch stuff that's happening in our skies here in Wisconsin, and I never can get it because I either don't have my phone with me, or there's usually some goofy reason why I can't get it. Well, I got some video of some very bizarre things in the skies just about a weekish ago, and it's not the first time. And growing patterns are very strange. We're noticing a lot of circular weather patterns during snowstorms that are behaving a lot like, well, frankly, when we lived in Florida and there were hurricanes. Obviously, there's hurricanes in Florida. But when those weather patterns get going, they go in that circular motion because of the pressure systems. Well, that had never, ever been seen by us in Wisconsin with snow until recently, and it's happening all the time. And so I started paying attention. And I know that a lot of you guys out there are Johnny on the spot paying attention because a lot of you deal with growing things, farms, crops, animals. Are you guys seeing the bizarre things that are starting to happen? I want to show you some, because I'll tell you this, I know there's a lot of you that are going to go, Brad, you've lost your nut. You hang in here for 10 minutes, and I guarantee you, Scout's honor, I'll be proving to you that there's stuff going on that you didn't know, and it's right under your nose. And I don't understand why it's legal, but there's companies that are publicly traded that are actually doing weather modification. Folks, hang tight and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you some websites in real time that you can go to on your own. We're going to talk about some government stuff that is all public knowledge. I can't believe that this is actually a thing. I thought this was science fiction, but first, here, check this out. I got this the other day. Hold on, check this out. Check this out, guys. 5 completely parallel lines. As far as we can see, there's another one way down there. Exactly in a row. Look to be spaced just about the right same distance, I guess. And they're all headed that way. One right after the next. And that way just happens to be Milwaukee, Green Bay area, like right between. So let's watch and see what happens in the weather, because today is Tuesday, October, I don't know, somewhere in Tuesday. But yeah, so let's keep it wet. All right, guys, so next day, none of this weather pattern was really there. It was completely disorganized. But look, it's almost like we see those weird new hurricane, it's like a circular hurricane, but it's like either snow or rain. And look, we're in central Wisconsin, and it was going that way, those lines. Looky there. Crazy how all of a sudden that formed up yesterday. Alrighty, folks. How many of you guys have seen anything like that in the recent past, maybe even within a year or so? Because we're seeing them all the time. People are saying, okay, they're chemtrails. Now, hold on, because let me just say this. There's a bunch of different categories for this. I've started doing some studying on what this is. And okay, your head's gonna explode tonight, but I hope that we can actually turn this time together into a force for change and not just a, angry old bearded guy with glasses shouting at clouds angry, because that ain't gonna get anybody anything good. Let me switch over to I want to show you some websites here, and I can do this real time, which is kind of cool. So you can actually see that that what I'm talking about here, it's not a secret. This stuff is actually going on. It's been going on since the 50s. Weather modification, and they've gotten dang good at it. And by good, I don't mean good. I mean, as in they're accurate at it. But let's check this out. All right. So here's what we have in terms of this portion. The next like 2 or 3 minutes is just going to be for those people who honestly don't believe that this is real. They think it's, science fiction or something crazy. But check that out. That's the North American Weather. What's that word? Weather Modification Council. Huh. Well, they've got a website there, and they talk all about how they do cloud seeding and how they use different nuclei. It says so right here. And they will, depending on what they want to do, here's the summation. Depending on what they want to do, they can put in things like silver iodide, liquid propane, dry ice, salt compounds, all kinds of goodies that you really want all over your animals if you're a farmer, and all over your crops. And definitely you want that all in the food you eat. I'm sure we're all excited about that. We're going to talk about the studies, the air quote studies that are done to tell you, oh yeah, it's safe. You definitely want silver and all of that stuff in your food, air quotes. We're going to talk about that in a second. But here's one website. Here's another one. This one's a good one. This one here, and all you got to do is Google. I mean, just Google weather modification. They're showing you how they do it. If you guys remember correctly, during the last Olympics that were in China, if you remember correctly, they were all over CNN boasting on how they didn't have a problem with rain. No, I don't want to stand formed. I just wanted to show you this. Stop that. And they had a big spread on how they did it. They basically had different aircraft that would shoot these nuclei and different compounds and different cocktails into the atmosphere to make it rain or push things or move storms and fronts away from where they wanted and to where they wanted as well. And they were bragging and boasting on how they did it. And, oh yeah, by the way, that's an anti-aircraft, device converted into how they can use for cloud seeding. Isn't that funny, guys? Reverb.com. They're an advertiser. I have no idea why Reverb.com would think I am interested in guitars. How would they know that? I don't know. It's a mystery. But there's article after article. Here's another fun one. I like this one here. If you're wondering, here you can buy a report on the financial viability of the cloud seeding market for look at this, bump, 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 bump. You see that? You see what's going back and forth there? Look at that. Defense. Huh. So for a mere pittance of just under $5,000 or just under $7,400, you can get this article that talks about the cloud seeding industry, how it works. And there was something else that caught my eye. Oh yeah, this is a fun one. They're thinking, $250 million by 2030. That's a pretty significant thing. So those of you guys who have a couple bucks to invest, you may want to consider shooting silver iodide all over everything and everybody. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan for. No, it doesn't. Here, let's go to another website, and then we're going to be done, because you can Google this all day long, because there's actually a real live point here. Check this out. This is just what I look at what I Googled. Cloud seeding companies, right? Okay. And there's just website after website after website of weather modification. Oh, couldn't be real. More items. There's tons of websites. You can go and check them out for yourself. Now, let me get back here. That was for people who don't think this is real. That was for people who forgot, I guess, that in the 50s that the United States and then everybody else was working on this across the globe pretty much. And they've gotten really, really good at it. Yeah? So now I'm back to where I can see your comments. So by the way, only like a third of you guys have said you like the video. Come on now. Click the like, please. It doesn't cost you a penny. And make some kind of a comment, and that does help the channel out. It does send out notifications. It makes the YouTube algorithm happy. So earlier, I asked you guys, have you seen any of this kind of nonsense going on in your skies? These cloud seeding chemtrails. Because I'm seeing it a lot more and more and more. And yeah, I'm seeing, by the way, I do try to catch my eye. I try to catch my comments as I can. So if you make a comment, you never know, you might get it called out. For example, Chris and Nikki are saying Monkey Works follows the weather modification planes. And yeah, that's a channel I absolutely enjoy and get a lot of information from. Monkey Works. He's a believer. Follows a lot of aircraft for different reasons. That said, okay, so Nikki is saying that she sees them all the time in California. There are different methods of weather modification. Just so you guys know, many of you guys are chiming in on the HAARP machine, HAARP. That's different than what these cloud seeding companies are doing. They are charging, the HAARP machine is a means which they use radio frequencies and different frequencies to hyperheat the atmosphere. It's not, this is science fiction stuff. I'm not even going to talk about that today, just because if I don't have the ducks in a row to show you proof, I don't want to get in that scene of people saying, you don't know, you don't have all your ducks in a row. And I'd say, yeah, I told you I didn't have my ducks in a row. But let's talk about what we do know, because these are patented processes. You can go and look up the patents on the machines that are used to seed clouds so that they can manipulate weather. Let's just start there. So, okay, so people are saying, Jay Cry is saying, saw some today in California. Yeah, they don't even hide it anymore. Frank, you're right. I'm checking. I just saw your comment. It used to be that this was the stuff of the tinfoil hat crowd. You would only hear about this stuff like on Alex Jones, right? I mean, Alex Jones would talk about it. Nobody believes it. And then for years and years and years, and now it's just, well, we've been doing this stuff for years. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows we've been doing this stuff for years. They're publicly traded companies. You can buy stock in the airplane companies that do this. So they have been working on this stuff right out there in the open since the 50s, mid to late 50s, right? Now, here's something else that you need to think about, okay? If they've been doing this for maybe the first 10, 20 years. And then they just slowly kept coming out and getting out there and more and more and more. Don't you think that the feral government has probably gotten pretty good at it by now? I mean, let's just think for a sec. What better way to manipulate a population than with their stomachs or their thirst? Think about that. If you can't grow stuff because you don't have the resource of water, or there's too much silver iodide or different kind of chemical blah, blah, blah nonsense all over your ground, and stuff isn't seeming to grow right, we're going to talk about that in a sec. But if that's the case, then wouldn't that be a great way to manipulate somebody else's population? Because if you can't grow stuff and you can't drink stuff, well, fighting's out. That's out. Right? Huh. And they've been doing this since the 50s. Huh. Now, there's just a thought for you. Just throwing that out there, guys. So I'm seeing people in Hawaii saying that they've seen some today. People in California saying they've seen some today. I've been seeing them a lot lately, and guess what? Like I showed you in the video that I just played, it's like they can drive these weather patterns, let's say it that way, however they want them to go, with however they want them to go. China's proof that they work, for the really, really big TV events, right? Hey, Tammy, how you doing? Missed you at Bible study. I know you've been busy, so you get a pass, but just want to say hi. So, that said, let me just ask you guys, if these are companies that are doing the cloud seeding, by the way, in my research, you can actually go and look these patents up in the archives. The federal government archives. You can find the patents for these machines, how they did them, how they're doing them. But if this is out there in the open, and these companies that are doing this, you can hire a crew to come do cloud seeding for you and your company, or let's say you got a big farm, you can do that. Well, why does anybody have permission to spray chemicals on your house? Think about that for a sec. You see these things going overhead. It's not like they've got machines that collect them before they hit the ground, right? Why is that legal that they're up there spraying this stuff, manipulating the weather patterns? And I've shown you, the proof is there. It's there. It's not just one company, it's a ton of them. A lot of them are federal government stuff, but there are plenty that are still privately owned companies that you can hire them. So why is it legal for them to get up there, do their little thing, tool around, and spit chemicals right on top of everybody's food, water, cattle, animals, your house? You're breathing it. Why is that legal? As Brad pensively strokes his beard and wonders why, oh why, is this being allowed to happen? Let me just ask you this, guys. I live in Wisconsin, so I don't know where you guys live. I know where some of you live. Some of you guys are local. But where we live, we have a thing called the Department of Natural Resources. Dun, dun, dun. The DNR. And I think the DNR largely does get a bad rap for some of the things that they do, but some of the things that they do are, say, protect water, natural resource, Department of Natural Resources. They protect waterways. They protect making sure that the water that you drink and stuff, it stays pure. That's kind of nice. So the DNR here, where we live, guys, where we live, you do anything to mess with the water, and they are on you like white on rice. They're on you like stink on poo. The DNR knows everything. Oh my gosh. This is funny, man. We put up a barn at one point, and it's an agricultural barn. So we shouldn't be paying taxes on an agricultural barn for agricultural purposes, but that's neither here nor there. But all of a sudden, we start seeing planes flying around, and then lo and behold, a few months later, our tax bill goes up. Who do you fight with? The DNR here has the same kind of airplanes that fly around, and they look at what's going on down there. They use Google Earth. I know they do. So if the DNR will climb all over just the regular little guy like you and me and Bobby McGee, all of us, if they will climb us, right? And we can't do anything, but how is it legal that they'll spray all these different chemicals and, silver iodide and all this kind of stuff? How is it legal for them to be doing this? Where you can't control it exactly, can you? I mean, anybody? What, can somebody please tell me why this is legal in the chat? Anybody? They're reassessing, Lisa, they're reassessing everyone's property for taxes, etc. Says, she's talking about the DNR and the taxes and stuff. But, okay. Or they could just, I don't know, do it legally. I mean, I guess it's not illegal for them to fly a plane over, but I should not have to defend my legal barn for legal purposes for agriculture that I legally don't have to pay extra taxes on. But now I have to fight to pay less because guess what? Some bean counter somewhere saw a postage stamp square from the sky and said, oh gosh, they're not paying enough in taxes. Now, do you guys, let's go to another facet of this. Are you guys aware, or let me play a little game with you. Do any of you guys play strategy games like chess? Any game-minded people? I'm not talking like, yeah, I play Pac-Man, or I'm a first-person shooter. I'm a Call of Duty person. I'm like talking like strategy games like chess, where you really have to be out-thinking the next guy 3-4 moves ahead, thinking about what I'm doing, what they're doing, right? Because if you have not read the book The Art of War by Sun Tzu, I suggest you pick up a copy. Here's why I'm throwing that out there. If you think ahead, all you have to do is really, really just kind of control your opponent's resources, and then you can control your opponent. Right? If you're talking about, like something from Sun Tzu. You'll never have to go into any kind of conflict if you can control what the other guy can do with their forces. If they can't feed them, they're not doing much. Do you see my point? This has been a tool for a long time, but now it's getting to the point where we're seeing very strange weather patterns popping up all over, guys. You watch. You're going to start seeing strange hurricanes. We've been seeing the hurricanes that are like blizzard hurricanes in the center of Wisconsin come rolling across from Wyoming, and it's like an ice hurricane. Okay? Lightning Survivor 14 is saying flying over your airspace is legal. Okay, Lightning Survivor, and that may very well be. But spraying anything onto my house and my cows and my crops and my food and into the water supply probably is not legal. You try it and then see what happens. There you go. There you go. Why don't we let's make a little video. I'm being completely a dork here at this point. If you made a video, and I'm not suggesting this, but if you made a video where you're like, yeah, I got my phone and we're gonna just take up a bunch of different, 5-gallon buckets of paint, and we're gonna just start dumping paint from an airplane, and you film it, I'm guessing that federal prison is shortly in your future. But why can these companies do it? Yeah? You guys following me? I know. Would that be not the most ridiculous thing in the entire world to be like, yeah, I'm taking a bunch of stuff up in an airplane and I'm just going to start dumping it out. That's ridiculous. But they can do it to you. So here's the biggest point of the video, folks. The biggest point is not that they're actually doing it, because that's clear. They are doing it. It's not even being hidden anymore. But the biggest point of the video is start getting loud about your dissatisfaction with the fact that this is going on. Nikki says they are doing it for the greater good. And I do appreciate the air quotes, Nikki, because it's not the greater good when they're dumping that into your water supply. Okay, so I agree, Nikki, that might be an argument that they would make. Except here's another problem to this, and I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about this part of it. The studies, the air quote studies, if you start digging into this topic, the studies that say it's safe. Oh, what they're doing is completely safe, harmless. First of all, the studies are very short-term studies. They're not cumulative studies. That's a problem. What happens when things build up over time? You can't take like a 6-month period and go, hey, no problem. It's safe. Everybody, safe. Safe. What after 10 years? Isn't there going to be a problem with buildup? That's number one problem. Number two problem, the people that are paying for the studies are largely linked to the people that want the studies to look good to the public. There's not really third-party studies that are not benefiting in some big way. You picking up what I'm throwing down, folks? Are ya? Hit that thumbs up, folks. You gotta help me out here. So if the people, it's kind of like when, have you ever heard of, It's like a fox watching the chicken coop, right? Fox watching the chicken coop. Well, who do you think's... Why are there chickens missing? Hey, fox, you were hired to guard this chicken coop. Why are there chickens missing? And the fox goes, I don't know. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Yet the DNR here in Wisconsin will climb you. You'll get in so much financial and legal trouble if you dumped anything into the water at all. But it's cool as long as you got the right permit to fly over the top and spray it over everybody's water. Elizabeth, good point. Thank you. You guys, please read that comment. And I don't know how to do the little emoji things on the side where there's hearts and 100% and all that. Make sure you give Elizabeth a little emoji love and say, Elizabeth, way to go. That's a great point. There were a lot of people saying that those things were completely safe, not a problem, even endorsed by doctors. This is the choice of doctors. You can even still go find those actual ads. You can go find the ads. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Studies show. So, ladies and gents, here is the biggest important part of this video. Get loud. Start talking to your politicians respectfully, but demanding action. Do you want this stuff on your crops, in your water, on your food? And if they try to cite a study, ask them, is this a long-term study? Because it's been around since the 50s. They've been doing this stuff since the 50s. So let's see. Let's just go round it out to 55. Or, yeah. 50s, 60s, 70s, 90s. So it's been going for at least 40 years, right? I mean, something like that. Hey there, Adapt 2030. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. So if this stuff has been going on that long, surely the studies exist. But the studies that are publicly out there, well, that's a different story. Now, I do want to tell you something. You guys, this is going to blow your mind too. All right, you ready? Buckle up. Here we go. You can go onto the archives of what our government will allow you to see, because there's some stuff that you're not supposed to see, and some stuff with good reason. You know, most of it you should be able to see, but some stuff is like, There are the patents. You can go look at them. If you do, I think it's archives.gov. You can actually watch videos that I can't find right this second, or else I'd be playing them, because they're public domain, because you, the taxpayer, paid for them to be created. So you can go there and watch videos on how they're doing it, how they've done it. This is since the 50s. So the studies are out there. It's just they don't really want you to see the studies. So we've got to get vocal about the fact that, hey, you know what? I'm not a lawyer, and I don't play one on TV. I don't play one on the YouTube, Google machine either. None of it. But boy, oh boy, doesn't this sound like the biggest class action suit that's ever, I mean, bigger than Aaron Brockovich. I mean, think about it. What if, here, let's do a fictional movie idea, right? Fictional movie idea. What if, let's just say that it was found out that there were horrible, horrible medical things going on. And, you know, some government agencies knew what was going on, and they knew the source of what was happening, and it was being dumped on everybody from the skies. What would it be like if that were that fictional thing? What would it be like if it were found out that it was a major source of big time ailments, but it made a lot more money? Oh man, it made a lot more money to keep the medical industry that was supporting it rolling. What if it made a lot more money to be able to control and manipulate people in a way? As long as they didn't know, it was fine. And, what if? Fictional, right? Crazy, crazy fictional stuff. Have you ever wondered if any of that fictional stuff that I'm sure you have thought of, and so have I, if any of that was real? Here's a fun thing. Okay, guys, you ready? I found one video in the past that was actually from 1966, and it was basically, remember those videos that you got to watch in school on the actual film reels, and the teacher would roll those carts into your school classrooms, and then they'd show you like physical fitness, and or the United States and you, and wow, Ryan. Yeah, he's a guy who claimed he was a friend of mine, and now he just doesn't like me because I like Jesus, and he's got a problem with that. So I'm going to leave that up, and I'm going to say thanks for $10. You know what I'm going to do, Ryan? I'm going to put that in the offering plate in your name. So thanks, man. Anyway, you remember those things, the reels that they would show you? Can you imagine what it would be like if they started showing the ones that they were putting out then, so that everybody was like afraid of those other countries that were overseas and all that kind of stuff? That if they were showing them now, do you think that people would feel the same way, knowing that this was actually being done and actually, I've shown the companies that are doing it. You can Google it. You can look them up yourself. It's not scaring. It's there. They're just literally doing it. So, okay. Oh, Tammy, no, he's being a curmudgeon. He wanted to make sure that his statement got out there. You see, it says scaring for Christ. You need this more than I do. See, Ryan, I had been his friend for a very long time, and he just has been saying some very, very hateful, nasty things. So I had to just kind of say, see you, dude, sayonara. And he's found a way that he can get his 5 minutes of fame here. And so I'm just going to give the money to the church, because he's kind of an angry person. And that's why I didn't want Tammy. So here's the point, guys. I'm going to leave that up there, even though, hey, dude, do what you want to do, brother. You do you. Here's the thing. It's not being hidden anymore. China, with the Olympics, they most certainly were very public and said, hey, look, we can manipulate the weather. We've done it. We're good at it. Okay? So the question is, what are you going to do about it? It's not scary when you know. Not scary at all. Matter of fact, it's the very best thing you can do to actually get vocal with the politicians who think they're in charge of you. I mean, I don't want chemicals sprayed in my soup. Think of all the ailments that possibly could be out there. but we don't know. We don't know. So that said, I am going to say goodnight, and I'm going to make a beeline for the church offering plate and leave a little picture of Ryan in there. You guys have an awesome and blessed night, folks. Have a great one. By the way, hey, Ryan, this is a new song I did for you. It's a good one. Have a great night.
Praise the Lord, oh give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. Save us, O Lord our God, and gather us from among the nations, that we may give thanks to your holy name and glory in your praise. Who can utter the mighty deeds of the Lord, or declare all his praise? Blessed are they who observe justice, who do righteousness at all times. Save us, O Lord our God, and gather us from among the nations, that we may give thanks to your holy name and glory in your praise. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people